All right, why don't we kick off?
Yeah, I think so. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Online tonight, you have myself. My name is Jess. I'm the Marketing Comms Officer at the Office of Sport, and Shoosh for Kids is my campaign that I'm responsible for. I love working on Shoosh for Kids. I think it's such a great campaign, great messaging. And, I've come from an SSO background and I've worked on the other side of Shush as well, promoting it from an SSO perspective. So, I've had some really good insights, hopefully, to bring to this and insights that I can share with you tonight. And we've also got online Sam Fazzini, who is our head of marketing and comms, and also James Chapman, who is our not sure if James is exact as senior digital advisor, I believe. So you've got all three of us from Officer Sport. This is a campaign that's run by the marketing and comms team at the Officer Sport, and we're really passionate about it. So yeah, I think Sam was going to kick off tonight, and then I'll jump in a little bit later when we get to some of the more nitty-gritty promotional stuff. So Sam.
Yeah, cool. And just a big thanks for everyone joining. You may have caught my last sentence as you were joining, whatever, but this is actually a new thing we're trying this year just to see if it helps for some people. But also, we know it's always a tricky time to catch everybody. There's never a perfect time between work and kids and sports and everything else. Maybe the rain's helped us tonight because I'm guessing most people's sport might have been cancelled. But this is a really great program. I'm going to guess that most of you on this call have probably implemented it in some formal way at your club already, but it's one of those ones where there's always some different ideas you can glean from others. So that's the sort of thing Jess will take you guys through later. It's just a few different case studies and ideas. So I'll try and be the faster end of it because I'm going to guess most of you sort of know what the presentation, the program's about, but I can just take you through a bit of a quick one. So what's Shoosh for Kids? It's a collaboration that we started between the Office of Sport and all of our sector partners. And by sector, in this language, we talk about all of our partners across all the sports. So every sport you can think of has a state sporting organisation, and under them sit clubs and teams and all the rest, which is where everyone fits in. And it was all about encouraging positive spectator behaviour at junior sport. And obviously we can't do that without those in the sector, and actually getting that message down to grassroots level. It started probably more as a campaign about sideline behaviour for kids and making sure that we were, if you didn't have anything nice to say about how kids were playing, whether it was your own or others, then, be quiet, don't say anything at all. I think over the last couple of years, it's become a campaign for everybody in terms of Shoosh for Kids. This is about the volunteers, the referees, the coaches, officials, and just understanding that most people, and particularly kids who are volunteers or coaches, everyone's there, everyone's just trying to help, and unless you're being constructive, it's not really very useful for anybody. And it kind of paints a bit of a negative picture for kids who want to join sport, because really the primary objective is ensuring that all kids want to come back to sport, because that's what the most important piece is for us as well. So the whole campaign's around promoting positive messaging about sideline behaviour and building that positive experience for kids at junior sport. So we run 2 awareness campaigns a year. It actually really started as more of a winter sports one around May. We found May was the best idea. People have registered, they've kind of gotten into the groove, but then it's before we start to hit the really cruxy end of the season and finals and things like that. And that's not to say Shoosh for Kids doesn't run across all year. It's just that we try and do these kind of amplification months in May and then in November for summer sports. Summer sports probably came in a year or so after, and that was actually because of the popularity of the campaign and a lot of summer sports really indicating that they wanted to be involved as well. So what we do as part of the campaign is that grassroots partners receive access to sort of a resource library, which Jess will take you through later. We have weekly content and information and even just support and advice from our team. So as you know, Jess will kind of indicate at the end, we're always here to help. So if there's something you need, there's some content you need some help with, sometimes it's just little things that we can probably help you guys with. We know everyone's a bit resource short. We launched it back in 2014, and it sort of was a kind of an evolution of campaigns that had been run by Play by the Rules, which was one of the ASC type campaigns, and Office of the Children's Guardian, AHR. So we work with a couple of different agencies and groups, so it sort of supports and complements the work they do. Shoosh for Kids has probably grown a lot, and it did start off small, but it's obviously grown a lot bigger over the past couple of years. So key messaging, as I mentioned previously, it was all very much around that old saying is, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But it's not just about staying completely silent. It's also just about making sure we're being positive, thinking before we speak. And sometimes we don't want sideline brawls or anything like that, but it is sometimes just tapping that other person on the shoulder and kind of bringing to attention that perhaps what they're saying isn't quite right either. And I say that because I think everyone often goes to that idea that positive spectator behaviour or negative is that real, it can get quite abusive, quite swearing. But I know, being a sideline parent, sometimes it just becomes that competitive nature in you that you scream something out a bit louder than you should, or you say something and you actually sometimes have to think and go, is that actually really that constructive, or is it me as an adult being incredibly competitive and not thinking? So it's just really thinking before you speak and encouraging others to think before they speak. And then we kind of split it off. So, and you'll see across the month, we focus on different themes. So sometimes it's around that general participation and keeping it positive, fun, and keeping kids coming back to junior sport. There's the volunteer appreciation and, reminding people that it's volunteers that run kids sport. So they're a really integral part of it. Remembering to respect our referees. I think that could go from grassroots right through to elite, if you really think about it, and also supporting the coaches. So we know we're all culprits of the old not quite always letting coaches do the coaching, thinking we may know better. So that's just another key message. And I'll hand over to Jess now, who's sort of the guru behind all of this.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sam. Yeah, just want to echo what Sam says. The messaging in this campaign is really strong, and it's remained consistent, and we've been able to bring in those additional themes, which I think is great because the rise in abusive officials and people not respecting the volunteers that do run it is just it's not great to see. So this is just our little part of trying to combat that. So you guys have obviously all signed up as partners, which is great. So thank you very much for doing that. And so as part of that, you guys do get access to our resource library. So we've been building it over a couple of years. So there's a wealth of stuff within our resource library. So there's things like social tiles, posters, EDM banners. We've got, individual sport tiles. I think we've pretty much managed to cover most sports now. I've just actually done another big input of new sports. So those should hopefully be up there tomorrow. And yeah, it's a great resource library. We've consistently added to it. And the great thing about sort of us running this campaign is that we're really receptive to actually building content. So if there is something that you think your club or association would really benefit from, or that they would like, we're more than happy to try and create it for you. So I've had people reach out and asked, to create different signs and posters in different sizes that they want to get printed. We've had people reach out. We had Special Olympics sign up as a partner last year, and somebody mentioned that, there was a lack of diversity in terms of inclusionary visuals. And so we've now gone and created some new inclusion-based visuals, which is great. So you'll see here that this is sort of just a really broad selection of what we've got. But what I'll do is I'll stop sharing my screen and I will actually jump into the web page. So this is our Shoosh for Kids webpage. So you can find it on our main website under the Our Work section, for those that are looking for it. Already there. So you've obviously already signed up as a partner, but there is a link to the campaign resources down here. And if you go in here, they're all, everything you probably want to find is under here. So we've got a number of different posters. Yeah, all your social media tiles are here, all the different sports. We've got logos, we've got signage templates for, you know, your venue potentially, if you were looking to do some teardrop banners or some fence banners or scrim. That was always popular at hockey. I know when I worked there, a lot of the venues loved putting up banners on the fence. They were really keen to do that whenever we had them. We've also got a ground announcement script, so you know that key messaging is there and easily accessible for whoever needs it. We've also got a great little promotional toolkit as well. Some of the stuff we're sharing tonight is included in the promotional toolkit, but there's a lot of other information in there which I would encourage you to have a look at. But this is definitely, yeah, this is a great resource library that we've put together, but we're always looking to expand it. So if anybody has any ideas, please let us know. As a partner, you'll also be getting weekly emails, which will have some great content in there that you can share, that you can read, and we'll always try and give you content that aligns with the themes of the week as well. So that's the resource library, and we encourage you to definitely check that out and use all of those resources, because they will be the easiest way that you guys can promote the Shoosh messaging through your clubs and associations. So yes, let me get back. Yes, so when we're talking about promotional channels and ideas, it's always good to think a little bit outside the box. I know that volunteers at grassroots clubs and associations are very time poor, and you know you probably don't have a full-time social media or media person working on your channels. So you know, I think it is important to it's important to just kind of examine what you've got at your disposal and some of the easy ways that you can promote the messaging through your channels. So obviously, you know, most clubs will have social media pages of some sort, whether that's a Facebook or an Instagram, potentially a TikTok these days. They're great. It's always worthwhile pushing your messages through those channels, but also consider, you know, other mediums like your website, your newsletters, your emails that you're sending out to your members, things like draws. You know, everybody's going to check out a draw every single week. So that's often a great place that you can put something that you want to draw people's attention to. Programs, even, you know, dropping in some information in, you know, text chats or WhatsApp groups. I know that a lot of teams have WhatsApp groups to manage training schedules and all that sort of stuff. And also, you know, ground and venue signage is a big one that is very visible, and it's a great way to get the word out there to a lot of people. And also, you know, thinking outside the box a little bit, uniforms are another great one. You've got plenty of kids out there running around, potentially incorporating something onto a uniform, or, you know, whether that be potentially, you know, could be different colored socks or something like that. There's a lot of channels at your disposal. So definitely think about what you can do with those. And then, you know, some content ideas that you can potentially use to promote the Shoosh message. You know, it can be just as simple as taking a photo of your athletes or your parents with, you know, a Shoosh for Kids sign or a poster off the resource library. We've got some great little props, you know, that you can cut out that are also in the resource library that are really cute and fun that the kids would get really involved in. You know, even thinking about filming a fun little video. You know, kids are always so keen to get in front of a camera. If you pointed at them and ask them to do something for you, 9 times out of 10 that they're raring to go and want to do it for you. Potentially, you know, you could look at doing a Shoosh themed round where, you theme everything pink. You could have some pink decorations up in the canteen, or yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with that. Another content idea, if you had somebody that was quite passionate about this topic, they could potentially write an open letter to your member base about the importance of Shush and yeah, encouraging that positive sideline behavior. And the easiest way that I think you can support Shush is just by sharing the Office of Sport content. We will be putting out a lot of content over the next month on our social channels and on our website, so it's always worthwhile checking. And if you see something that you think would really resonate with your members, just throw us a share. And that's a really easy and nice, simple way to to show your support for Shush. Some other sort of general promotional ideas that I kind of chucked down that I think could be worthwhile, if you wanted to do something that was a little bit different than just sharing a post on Facebook, print and display some Shush for Kids signage and put it around your venue. If you want to get people's attention, then try and prioritize it in high traffic areas. We always joke at the Office of Sport that the back of the toilet cubicle doors is actually our best way of actually advertising anything at the Office of Sport to people, because that is the one thing that they do take a look at. So, things like on the back of toilet doors, at canteens, entry gates, barbecues, they're all really great areas to do that. Ground announcements, always a good ways to get across messaging, especially if they are just littered across the day. You are getting different people at different times of day. As I mentioned before, if you want to put an ad in your event programs, that's always a really good one too. The one I really like, and I haven't seen anybody do it, but I think it'd be a great idea, would be to potentially designate a Shush for Kids ambassador at your venue during competitions, potentially giving them a bright shirt or a bright vest and making them visible to spectators. And that person can then, chat to spectators about their behaviour if they are noticing, bad behaviour, or they can answer questions. And it gives that visibility to the campaign. And it just reminds people. Sometimes people just need to have that little visual reminder that, potentially what they're doing isn't great. And that, and it's all about just making people think before they speak. And as always, just including a reminder in your emails, your newsletters, your text message, it's just about consistency and repetition, getting to as many people as you can. There's also some practical implementation ideas that I think could work at different clubs and associations. These are more sort of, trying to drive behavioural changes as opposed to just promoting the messaging. Running some awareness sessions for parents and spectators. Either this could be something that is ongoing on a regular basis. Potentially you do it during Shush for Kids month, given, the spotlight on it, and actually spell out for parents what behaviours are acceptable or not. Running a volunteer appreciation round and promoting the hard work that your volunteers are doing is another great thing. We did it a lot at hockey, and it was always really well received that volunteers just, they like to just know that people were appreciating what they were doing. And it didn't have to be a lot. It could have just been, a note, a social media post. It could have just been, a canteen voucher. There was lots of different things that clubs and associations did to show their appreciation for volunteers. It could even be something as simple as just encouraging all the athletes to shake the hands of officials before or after games. A lot of people do this, but, I think it's a nice thing to make sure that it's happening at every game. And also potentially consider, incorporating some materials or resources into any accreditation programs or courses, if people are doing coaching courses or officiating accreditations and moving up, there are some really great ones that are online from Play by the Rules. There's a little mini course called Let Kids Be Kids. Play by the Rules have some fantastic resources that I would really encourage you to check out as well, especially around that education piece. So if you are looking to incorporate something that's a little bit more official, that would be a great way to do it. And then, yeah, that kind of, the last point kind of ties back into the other volunteer appreciation point above, was just recognizing the efforts by highlighting key people, whether that is a volunteer, it could actually be an official, it could be a coach, it could even be a parent who just goes above and beyond. So yeah, those are some, practical, that's just, these are a few that I just thought of. That's not the extent of it. And there's a lot of different ideas out there. And I would encourage you to work with your committees and work with other people in your club and association to potentially think about what you guys can do that's unique to your sport or your club or association. Some really good examples of things that other Shoosh for Kids partners have done in the past, and I really love showing these off because I think they're really creative, and these are things that they've done off their own bat. They've, it's been nothing to do with us. This is just something that they've done because they want to support Shoosh. The first one I think was my favourite from last year. This was a post from the Borkham Hills Netball Club. And they encouraged people to go up to their canteen and grab a lollipop if they couldn't keep their mouths shut or if they couldn't keep their mouths busy while they were supporting their kids on the sideline. I just loved it. It was such a simple concept. It was funny. It was definitely a really great example of how you can turn Shoosh from what could be a serious type subject into something that's a little bit more fun and really getting at that positive encouragement sort of message. The next example is from the Concord Burwood Wolves. These guys are fantastic and they actually put together this little video. Not sure if the sound is going to work, but there are some subtitles which I will play. I love that video, and it just goes to show, it doesn't have to be anything special, but it can be a pretty powerful video when you do have those voices of the kids and coaches and volunteers from your club that are promoting that messaging. And they've been the Wolves have been great with, supplying content, which is the other thing I wanted to bring up as well, is that we really love showing off what our partners are doing on the ground. And, the best way to do that is through photos and videos. So we would love for you guys, if you are going to do anything, to share it with us. You can share it with us by tagging us. You can also send it through to the Shoosh for Kids email address, which we'll put up on the screen at the end. We love featuring the good things that you guys are doing. And, if you send it through, we will definitely feature it in some capacity. So that's always something to keep in mind, especially if you do, want to show off your club a little bit. It's definitely a good way to do it. All right. Another good example, this was from an SSO. So this was a campaign that I actually developed when I was at hockey, but I still feel like it rings very true right through to today. And it was the Respect for Officials campaign. We had an issue with umpire and official abuse. So this was something that we developed. It was basically a campaign that we launched across the entire sport, and we encouraged people to actually sign and take a pledge that they would respect officials. And so it was actually giving our members and participants something tangible and physical to do, that, they could actually physically commit to doing something. We put sign-up sheets at state championship events, different venues across different weekends of club competition. There was, I think in the end, we ended up getting something like over 5,000 signatures from people committing, which was, I think, a fantastic outcome. It got picked up by Hockey Australia at a national level, and yeah, we managed to build the campaign out, really well. And as you can see there, we managed to get it quite visible on the actual umpires themselves. And this was a specific sort of campaign that was targeting respect for officials, but it could easily be extended into sort of a more shush-based campaign, or something else if you guys had something else that you wanted to champion at your club or association. And the last one was junior speedway racing. And I really just love this one. This was more an example of how simply you could include shush branding across your sport, and have it be really powerful and visible. All that these guys did was print off some shush branding and attach it to the front of their motorbikes for their competitions. And so you'll see each kid on their motorbike had some Shush for Kids branding. So, stuff like that is just thinking slightly outside the box, but still, using the resources at your disposal to really get the message out there and to make it more visible. So, yeah, I think I've come to the end of the actual presentation, but I think a big part of this was actually seeing if any of you guys had questions that we could answer. If you wanted some advice on something that you wanted to try, we're here as a bit of a soundboard and to listen to you guys. So was there anybody out there that had any questions or comments?
Very happy to answer any, or chuck them in the chat if you're not keen to speak, or fair bit to digest. But again, there's also that email address. So if you do want to shoot us a note, please feel free to. As just said, there's some really cool ideas that come out from people just thinking a bit outside the square. That lollipop was definitely a favourite one of ours.
Yeah, I like that.
I
hope
and so simple.
I took a picture of that.
Yeah, I think what's really cool, as Jess said, is there are some really, really simple cost neutral, like things that don't cost money to do, and I think that's the most important bit. And it's that presence on the ground of just educating people as well. So I know we're trying to do that at some of our clubs that our kids are in.
And often it's about finding, I always heard feedback, that volunteers are time poor, especially some of the club committee, people are a little bit older and, they aren't as tech savvy or social media savvy. The best way I find that you can promote these things sometimes is to just find a young person or somebody at your club that's really passionate about this sort of thing and make them sort of your go-to person, in a way. I think you find if you give people, a cause to spruik and to get behind, you'll often be surprised by what they can come up with and what they want to do. So it's, especially in that social media space, there is so much that you can do. And especially, as Sam mentioned, it's a lot of free stuff. You don't need to spend any money basically to promote the shush messaging. But there are things that you can do if you want to increase your visibility. like banners and scrim, we have done the legwork for you there, and we have got some artwork. So it is literally a case of just going in, purchasing it and putting it up. But yeah,
What the heck is scrim, Jess?
scrim's the banners
People who
that
don't
go.
know.
Scrim's the mesh banners that go along the fences that you often see at venues, and yeah, you'll see them around. Deb, you'll have scrim up at Seha.
I
100%.
dare say we do. Just didn't know what it was called.
No, fair enough. Yeah,
Or
no,
it might even be those, often as clubs, you might put up those things that you tie up where you are advertising for registration for the new season. Similar things to those, where you can just print them off and tie them up to a fence or whatever else as people walk in. It could even be as simple as, and I know it's a bit old school, but I know a lot of us at community sport are still old school in that respect of like scoring sheets, having something on those for people who are scoring. It could just be a real simple thing on those just to remind people. And that's easy. That's just adding an extra line or a logo or a little thing. QR codes are good.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say I did see an example last year of just, I think it was a basketball club that put a Shoosh poster on each of the tech benches at basketball. So no matter who was sitting at the tech bench, there was always a Shoosh for Kids little reminder on the tech bench. So yeah, I think it's just really about the visibility and just trying to find ways where you can increase it as much as possible. And as I said, it can be as simple as putting something on the back of a toilet cubicle door. I know I kind of joke, but it's true, Sam. Like, yes, Sam will attest. It is literally the biggest piece of real estate at the Office of Sport. If we want to promote something, is the back of the toilet door. People do notice it. So yeah, it's.
And I say this in the best possible way. It's even better for the boys love it because it's the one time they read things.
You can tell straight away when something's out of date. And okay, what's the next ad? Come on, get it up there.
Yeah. The first we'll hear of something being out of date exactly is because it was on the toilet door and it was the wrong date. So yeah, it's funny. It is the really, really little things that make a difference. So never think it's a silly idea because you'd be surprised. But yeah, look, I think if there is no questions or anything, conscious of people's time, please honestly come to us with help. As Jess said, we're always happy to help develop things because if someone needs it, it probably means there's about 40 others who need it too. And if it's something that we can produce in-house with our designers and things with not too much effort, then it's really easy. Sorry, Michael?
Yeah, I had a question, guys. I'm actually I'm sport and community manager at Bankstown Sports Club, but we support about 17 different sporting codes. I just was wondering if there is like a list of sports or codes that sort of are supporters of the program, and if there are like some of our clubs that or some of our codes that aren't, you know what I mean, if we can encourage them to do it. So I just wanted to know if there was like a list of the sports that you guys have.
There 100% is, Michael. If you head to the Shoosh page and you head down the bottom, there's a full list of the SSOs that support it. There's, I think at last count, there was over 30 of them. So to be honest, I don't think there's a big sporting code that isn't involved. So I think we're down to the little ones that are coming on board now. But if there are, and you know of contacts that you think would benefit from being sort of more of an SSO partner, then definitely put them in touch with us because, we're always looking to expand our network of these guys because these are really the important people to try and then push the message down further to the clubs and associations of the sports. But if
and
you
also,
want to find...
To that point, Michael, if you're looking at this, so they are our SSOs. We obviously don't publish the full list of local clubs and organisations, but I think they'd be pretty proud to know to say that they were supporting it. So if you did have a list of the clubs that are at your end, we could probably cross-check and sort of see who at our end is. I mean, I think last year we had, was it 500 and something in winter sport, Jess? I can't remember now, of local.
Yeah, there was
like the
we had
local clubs.
think there was like 29 SSO partners, like winter partners. We have more summer partners we have 6 or 7 summer partners as well. And then, I think there was about 580, I believe, in the end. But nearly 600 partners. So there's a lot, and there's a lot that are new each year as well. We're getting new people and new clubs every single year, which is, a great thing too. But there's, it's been going for so long. There are a lot of clubs and sports that have been involved since the get-go that are very passionate about this.
But Michael, on the basis that you're probably supporting a number of codes, there might be just something we can help you put in it, like just at the club there, like just even if it's a QR code type poster, where some of those clubs can just QR code back to the website to get more info. That might be just something really easy and simple that then kind of addresses them all, because obviously you can't put single sporting little images up because it might not match what you've got there.
Yep.
So that could be something that we do there.
I think what I'd like to do, sorry, I'm just having a conversation now, but is probably get our clubs to sort of buy into it collectively and have like a little mini competition within our sport network.
Yeah, cool.
Which promotes it, but you know what I mean? It's promoting it, but it's just creating a bit of friendly competition between our clubs that all bear the same name. So anyway, that's just me thinking out loud.
That's a great idea. Again, see, simple things, and people love a competition.
Sport is nothing if not competitive.
Yeah. And those who work in sport are all but nothing competitive, I can assure you.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, cool.
I was thinking bumper stickers, guys, or a little sticker. You can get kids to go around with a little pink sticker that, and if it was okay, and I don't know if it is, because kind of this might suck, but getting a little sticker and you go, parents who just did the yay team, were really good sideline parents, they get a little sticker on yay, I don't know, well done you sort of thing, that sort of.
You know what, Deb, you joke about stickers, but we did stickers once and it was just the best thing ever. The kids absolutely adored them. Stickers always go over so well. But yeah, you know what, you don't know how well something's going to go until you try it. And I think that's what's being proven by some of these sports is they've just kind of given it a go and it's been really well received. And yeah, so.
Yeah, because I don't want to just do it for a month, to be perfectly honest. I don't want people's behaviour to be really good and they're really thinking about it for a month of the year. Hockey, and Michael, you'd know all your sports would go 12 months of the year, they're covering lots of different things. So I really like to see something that says just something for a constant reminder, which is why I suggested the bumper sticker. When you go to take your kids to the sport, just read your bumper sticker. Read this. Or when you're driving along in the traffic, people, I don't know about you, I read bumper stickers. Does anyone?
It's something that, it's a good point though. It's something we've been trying to push as well at the end of Shoosh for Kids months. It is not just for the month. It is something that's ongoing and something that we want to ensure is being sort of, pushed throughout the year. So you're right, Deb. It's a good message year round that we should be promoting. So yeah.
Are stickers something that we could do? Can we take what you've got there or something and give it to somebody who would print us stickers?
Oh yeah, 100%. If you wanted a sticker design done, if that was something that you wanted, we can definitely get one made up for you and you could take that to a sticker company. They're very cost effective. So if you did want to do a lot of them, they'd be quite cheap to do. So yeah, definitely reach out. As I said, the email is just shushforkids@sport.nsw.gov.au. It's on the Shoosh for Kids page. So if you want to email, if that's something that you're interested in, we can definitely look at getting that designed up for you. But yeah, any support you guys need, please reach out.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
Nice
Thank
to see
you for your
Have
help.
a good stay dry.
Sorry, you can tell my dinner arrived. Thanks very much. See you later,
Thanks,
everyone.
Emma.
See you guys.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot. Bye.
Bye.